Okay, somebody was asking me about the tarot. Now, I just got this deck. This is an older, from 73. And so first thing I do is I modify it for myself. I take off the border. So we'll just go ahead and use this one. You could see this. It's the way it looks now. Now I'm going to show you how I fix it, how I prefer it. Now this is just me. Now a lot of people would say, oh my God, it's a vintage deck. Why are you cutting it? Because I'm the one that has to use it. Now I would usually cut the bottom, but these are not all the same size at the bottom, so that's not possible. Some of them have a short area here, and other ones have a large area there, so you can't really cut it. Now, once you take off the border, it looks like there's motion, at least to me, okay? Before, you see it, and it just feels like a still picture. When I take off the border, it feels like there's motion there, okay? I know that sounds crazy, but that's just the way it works for me. I connect with them much easier. There's a more open feeling to them. It feels like they have motion. Now for you, it may not matter. Maybe some people like to have that border on it. For them, it might work better. But I find for myself, they work better if I take the border off. And also, I like a smaller deck as well. There's the ones again. Now they feel like they're in motion. Okay? I can feel those flying through the air. Whereas before with the border, they were just kind of contained there, So I'll do another one. We have the Empress. See how she feels once I get this border off. Don't ask me why it works that way for me, but it does, and especially this deck, I'm finding even more so than with other decks. Yeah, now I feel I can get in there more and connect with the image than when it had the frame around it. And, that just works that way for me. Like this, I feel like he's in motion now. This one. In this case, he's juggling, but he looks pretty satisfied with what's there. This one, when I took it off, I could really feel him pushed back to the edge. Rather than just feeling like it's an image. There, I could feel them really more celebrating. It feels like there's motion to it. Whereas before, when it had the thing around it, it just looked like an image. With this now, I can feel the motion, I can feel the wind, I can feel, it just works that way for me. It opens it up. I know it sounds a little crazy, but don't ask me how some of these things work this way, but that's the way it works for me. Now, somebody asked if I use specific decks for specific things. No, I don't consciously say this deck is for this or this deck is for that. I'm just moved to pick a deck, and each deck has a little bit of a different feel with the images. Like this one. Look at the devil in this one. Totally different feel. Totally different feel. And they're all nicely clothed now. You know, it just has a different feel. So for different decks, and then it could be this same deck, but a different day, different reading, and I'll have a different feeling about the image. I don't necessarily say this image always means, you know, X, Y, or Z. It could change the way it hits me from moment to moment, okay? Yep. We have... So anyway, that's why I cut the edges for my cards. I don't like the images being confined. It feels like they become like a something in a frame or something versus a living image. When I take it off, that I connect with it. I'll show you what I mean with this one again. When the frame was around it, I just saw a guy sitting there holding it. When I take it off, I can feel his, you know, I can feel the emotion of it more. So, it might not work that way for you, but that's the way this works for me. And especially this deck. It really has a different flavor once I take that edge off. It becomes more alive to me versus a dead image. And that's the death card, the dead image, okay? To me, that's just, you know, an illustration of, okay, kind of cartoony, the way the colors are and stuff with this. It feels more like a coloring book image or something at first. The way that this is colored in, it's just different. But once I take off that edging, it feels as if it transforms from a coloring book image to one in motion. Now I take that off and I really can feel that horse in motion and him riding through it, okay? Yeah, you can feel the emotion of it and things. Yeah. So that's why I take off the edging. And I like the older cards because I just find the cardstock, even though this is a really light cardstock, I just find the cardstock to be better than what I'm getting in the modern cards now for the most part. I don't know, they just have a different feel. But again, that's just me. You may be somebody that you really like the new cards better. And I don't go always by the traditional meaning of them. Again, when you get your cards, sit with it and see what that picture is telling you. Because it's all about you communicating with the image to get your reading versus you're trying to memorize what it means to somebody else. Now, I've done readings before and somebody will come in and say, no, this card means this. Well, not to me it doesn't, so. And I'm the one that's doing the reading. Yeah. So it's all about the intuition. This is a method to get a hold of your intuition. What is the picture telling you? What do the pictures together tell you? Okay. Sometimes I use them like different words. It's like putting them together makes a sentence. Again, that's just the way that I use them. Now, other people may use it a different way. But that's the way I use it. Now in this one, in this case, he's not looking at what's coming, he's looking at something else. He's distracted. He doesn't see what's coming. Okay? So that's what I see in that card now. Now usually it's about disappointment, but in this case, when I look at that now, you can see him clearly looking at the cups there and just not paying attention to what is coming out, what's being offered. So I would not necessarily read that card in this deck as disappointment. I would say maybe it's more of distraction. Okay? Could be dwelling on something else, just not observant of what's coming. Now I'm finding in this deck the facial expressions are different too. So each deck, it may have, even though it's the same type of image, it may have a different flavor for you. She looks a bit dissatisfied. Now, usually they say that's the one of compassion, but she's looking very dissatisfied with things in this deck. And here we have out in the cold, look pretty miserable. They look pretty miserable. This is different. Usually you have them walking that way. This way they're walking toward you. Yep. So I would more than likely get a different take on this one as well. In this one, she's feeling like she's got the resignation and just, you know, yep. So I would say there's really no right way and wrong way versus a wrong way of reading tarot. It's a mode of communication. See, when you take that edging off, it opens it up. You can feel that snow blowing. You can feel them in motion. At least I can. Maybe you think I'm crazy at this point. Yeah. But that's how it's working for me, especially with this deck. It really has opened it up. Huge difference. That little bitty edging makes such a huge difference for me. Yep. So anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here. And I'll continue to take the edges off of them. Wow, that snow one really, really opens up. So I'm going to continue to work on these and get more in tune with this deck. Feel the energy of it, because most of my stuff is done by energy. The feeling of it, you know. And that's just how I read. Yeah, and this fool, he's paying more attention to the flower than what he's doing. But he's going to walk off that cliff. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to leave that here and just continue on. And I did change some things in here. Just feels so much more open and better. Woo. So on that note, I'll leave that here. I did use the dome booty and made some rice. And yeah, it worked out well. What did I say, donburi? Stuck up. It's a food dish. Anyway, I made some rice in there, and it worked out okay. I just have to get used to how much water to put in, because it's different than when you're making rice in a regular pan. You're making rice in a regular pan, you've got to do the water up to your knuckle. That's how you measure it. But in this, you use very little extra water. So you use a lot less water when you're using this. And then you're supposed to soak the rice and stuff first, which I've not done. So, yeah, I may have to work on it a little bit. Yep. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you online.